so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. After years of exploring this awe-inspiring truth on this podcast, I am super excited to announce that we are now going even deeper down the rabbit hole on the new late-night style consciousness-elevating talk show called Optimistic, which features epic soul share interviews from the world's brightest luminaries, live painting from mind-blowing visionary artists, high-vibe musical performances, and last but not least, none other than you, the listeners. The show is being filmed out of the epic spaceship-esque property called the Mystic Manor that myself and the rest of the Optimistic crew now navigate reality from in the transformational vortex of Venice Beach, California. And there are multiple exciting ways you can co-create Optimistic along with us. Everything from coming to experience a life-changing, transformational Mystic Manor immersion week with me and the rest of the Optimistic family, which consists of workshops and unique experiences, including being on the show itself, to coming to participate as an audience member during a live taping, to viewing behind-the-scenes footage at the Mystic Manor each week, longer-run overtime interviews with my soul share guests on each episode, and even peeking in on our workshops and healing sessions each week. All of these options are outlined in detail on the webpage optimistic.tv. That's spelled OPTIMYSTIC.TV. To be perfectly frank, the cost to produce Optimistic is the biggest stretch I've ever made in my life. And it has been a huge leap of faith for me, trusting that if I leap, that the net will appear. So if your life has been enriched by Positive Head in any way, I'm asking you at this time to pay it forward by going to optimistic.tv and choosing one of the many ways to support the evolution of this podcast that is most in alignment with you so that we can reach a broader audience. There are options as low as $2.22 a month, and you can virtually experience life here at the Mystic Manor for only $7.77 a month. Pretty cheap, right? I'd also like to thank you in advance for honoring our soul contract to show up at this very special transitional time in our collective journey, as well as showing up for all the souls out there that will surely benefit from the monetary currency you were inspired to flow into this project to help us all step into a more optimistic world. Once again, the webpage is optimistic.tv. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all soon at the Mystic Manor. All right, all you positive heads. Welcome. Here we go again. So grateful to be back with you as always. I just got back from a trip to the Grand Canyon for my mom's 70th birthday, which was a few weeks ago, right before mine. But that was sort of a fam birthday present. She's always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. So me and my siblings took her, my son, niece, nephew. It was a family affair. It was a great time. And wow, I don't know if you guys have been to the Grand Canyon, but the pictures don't do it justice. Like, God is an artist. Whoever was behind, whichever one of you out there listening was behind that design, I applaud you. You did a magnificent job. It is so vast and just incredible. It makes you really realize how small we are in comparison. Someone was telling me they had seen something about you could put every human in the Grand Canyon and it would fill up this small little portion of it. And that's crazy to think about, almost 8 billion of us or something now. So it just is vast and magical and super incredible. And I had a great time. And I am glad to be back with you all. And it was our first week off of doing retreats, since we basically moved in July 1st into the Mystic Manor. And then we've shot 3 episodes of Optimistic, and then we just had our first week off. And now guests are arriving today for the new week. And they're so bubbly and happy and excited. And so far, it's just it's so exciting having new energy come in each week and get to really connect with you guys. Soul, as I see it, Soul Family, that is here to help co-create this experience. And so, that's just starting. You'll get to hear them all on Friday. We'll have them on. It's a big group this week. There's 5 people total. So all the first 3 weeks, it was, 3 people each week. And this time we have 5. So, big change there with that. And by the way, we do have, I just had a spot open up. There's actually 2 in September now that someone that had the spot held for a long time and then had to pull out. So if any of you are interested in coming, September 9th, there's a spot, and then also September 23rd, 9:09 to 9:15 or 9:23 to 9:29. My friend Chris had to sort of cancel last minute, and I definitely would love to have those of you. Anyone who's on the fence on coming, I definitely will work out a little something special because it is a shorter notice, and there's been some interesting juggling that's happened in the last few weeks or so. With also there's one other date, and October is pretty much completely filled up, and November about halfway. So there's one date in October as well. So let me know, especially 9/9 or 9/23. Reach out to me, Brandon at positivehead.com, and we can chat about it. See if we can't work something out to get you here to the Mystic Manor. And I'm really excited too. We're going to finally have some stuff to show you guys as far as the sort of sizzle reel of the show itself and what we're taking out and shopping to all the networks and everything like that. So we've got 3 of them that are recorded, the 4th one coming up. So we're building our content, and it has proven to be such a cool addition having you guys be a part of the show. And so far, just some of my favorite stuff has come from those of you who are here staying, for the week, and then asking questions of the interviewee and coming out on stage. It's just been such a cool co-creative affair, if you will. And so we'll see what this one goes like this week coming up. Excited to share it all with you. As far as today, because of all my travels and everything, a lot of times I like to read just in general. I really enjoy reading from books that inspire me from time to time, and I don't get as much time to do it as I used to because of all the things I'm juggling. So it's a great outlet for me to do that and share it with you guys. And it's been a minute, probably a month or so, since I read a chapter from the book The Third Millennium. I've read the first 4 chapters, and so I figured today I would pick up and read from chapter 5. And this whole topic, of course, all these topics too pop up in divine timing, not only for me, but for you and everyone listening. And this one is called The Transmutation of Error. And this book, by the way, is by Ken Carey. And he wrote another one of my favorite books, Return of the Bird Tribes. Super, super inspired, supposedly channeled material, but just very poetic and beautifully written. And you can go back onto positivehead.com and search the Third Millennium and see some of the if you want to hear the first 4 chapters, if you do that search, it'll come up there as well. So I'm gonna just jump right in, and then I'll talk a little bit, of course, about what we've read and went through with chapter 5, the transmutation of error. Here we go. It is neither possible nor desirable to avoid all painful or sorrowful experiences during the course of incarnation. But in most of the human cultures that have passed across the earth, all but a small percentage of such experiences could have been avoided. Just as in the past, individuals made the decisions that resulted in the deflection of human energy into the historical detour, so in this age, it's It is individuals who break the patterns of history and light the passageways of understanding that lead back to consciousness of eternal life. Decisions are not made by races, cultures, or nations unless they are first made by individuals. The most destructive decision that an individual can make is to give away his or her decision-making authority. The decision that lies at the source of human history is the decision through which you have given away your power to the very forces you came here to regulate. We have been weaning you and your race away from this tendency, away from this willingness to give away your power for tens of thousands of years. Human history has been a process of increasing decision-making responsibility on the part of the individual. It is a story of declining aristocracies and the diminishing power of elites. It is the record of tyranny's demise, a chronology of the dismantling of hierarchical structures. As far back as your records go, they document the steady growth of individual rights and individual responsibility. These most recent centuries bring this process into stark and vivid highlight with the final breakup of feudalism and the birth of democracy, socialism, and other forms of government, which, for all their failures, nevertheless honor principles of collective value and conduct. Though the fall has had a severe effect on humankind's enjoyment and understanding during this past age, it has not critically inhibited the development of the species. Physically, genetically, and biologically, humankind has continued to develop much as originally intended. Whenever there were deviations from the optimal patterns of development, they have always been used profitably. In the end, there is not one moment that does not contribute in some way towards perfection. Even at those critical junctures where the optimal path was not taken, if you follow the tale further down the path that was chosen, you find that, though its course twists and winds, it returns eventually not merely to the original path, but to a level of perfection one octave higher on the spiral of creative unfoldment. Wow, isn't that really, I'll just stop there for a moment. It makes me think of the book, The Psychic Explorer, that talks about, the greater one toils for their freedom, the greater the sense of freedom is achieved. That's something that's always stuck with me. And so isn't that powerful for those of you out there who've been thinking, I made that horrible decision, and if I'd done it differently, things would have went better and smoother, and I got so far off course. It's like the further off course you get, the greater the rebound and lesson that's learned. And it may be slower for you, but it ultimately is serving you in some way. Everything, the universe is conspiring to serve you, no matter what's transpiring at any given time. And when you can understand that, obviously, you can traverse those setbacks, and instead of those quote-unquote setbacks, right? Which from one perspective might be a setback. But from the ultimate perspective, it's a great gift, right? And you can bring that perspective to that time when you sort of let yourself down, right? Instead of beating yourself up further and keeping you held down, you can move through it and trust and look for the silver lining, right? Okay, I'll pick right back up. In electrical circuitry, the shortest distance between 2 points is rarely the best way for the current to flow. If the current in a radio flowed directly from the power source to the speaker, there would be no reproduction of sound. The radio's diversion of electrical energy into purposeful circuitry creates the framework that makes possible both its reception of invisible waves and its translation of those waves into meaningful sound. The same principle applies to the realms of material circuitry. The shortest distance between 2 points is always creative in the sense that energy is released and utilized in some way for some purpose, but it is not always the most desirable or most creative route for the energy to travel. When the pure energy of the life force follows the shortest route to the heart of the matter, stars are born. But to actualize and then to stabilize the biological possibilities of a cool, water-heavy world, the energies of life do not take the shortest route. They detour through maze-like and life-forming circuitry. The creation of an organ of biological consciousness made up of many billion human individuals, each hologrammatically conscious of the whole, is a process involving many steps, incorporating many overlapping layers of biological order. It has required the elaborate weaving of precise patterns of circuitry in environments designed to draw forth the required forms, attitudes, values, talents, attributes, and passions. To be of service to this world's completed biological organ of consciousness, constituent human beings must be not merely attuned to the rhythms and energy pulsations of the whole, but also participating in them freely of their own will. Without voluntary participation, the association of diverse cells that you know as organisms would not be possible. Therefore, the experience, whatever form it takes, that brings human beings to the realization that it is in their interest to cooperate with universal intent and design is all part of the process. Some of the circuitry that has been created in human experience has been unnecessary. It has involved sagas, tales, and histories that were less than enjoyable for those involved. But all of this ultimately will return to advantage. Nothing is lost in the process. There is a profound and objective intelligence aware of the flutter of every insect wing, observing, noting, assigning, and enfolding all life. And what is true of an insect's wing as it turns to catch the sun is true of you and of all. Even during history's darkest hour, in perfect love's economy, tragedy, catastrophe are retranslated for those who pass instantaneous and accurate, dispassionate in terms of light and sound until and so they know why they chose that. Not a sparrow has fallen to the ground, not a thought more consciously gently laid to rest. No human life was ever lost. Live, lost souls, live on, for you know how they thought you gone and how ascending free you flown. Live, lost souls, live on, for the beauty, the wonder, the magic you have known. Wow. That last part, they kind of wrote it like a poem. I should have probably noted that. But what an incredible, powerful transmission there with that short but potent chapter 5, and just understanding, really understanding, like the shortest distance between 2 points is rarely the best way for the current to flow. Yet we're so hung up on this idea that we have to be so efficient and so fast and get it right the first time. And that's just not the case, right? If you're out there and you're always beating yourself up for, the slower route that you've taken, for the times that you've tripped up time and time again, the last thing you should be doing is continuing to beat yourself up for that. Like, love yourself there, appreciate yourself there. You are perfectly on time in whatever extra struggle you went through. Nothing is ever lost in the universe. What a powerful concept, right? Everything is made of optimal use, ultimately. It's always being transmuted by this creative genius that you are, that the universe is, that our higher self is, into something useful and something meaningful, and in the ultimate good of all involved, everyone involved, starting, of course, primarily and always with you, because you are at the center of your own private universe, right? It's kind of like this backwards law that that Alan Watts talked about. I don't know if I can't remember if I've ever talked about that on the show or not. But I'll actually read it here. It's short. And Alan Watts said, wanting positive experience is a negative experience. Accepting negative experience is a positive experience. It's what he didn't write it. It's someone writing it about him. It's what the philosopher Alan Watts used to refer to as the backwards law. The idea that the more you pursue feeling better all the time, the less satisfied you become, as pursuing something only reinforces the fact that you lack it in the first place. The more you desperately want to be rich, the more poor and unworthy you feel, regardless of how much money you actually make. The more you desperately want to be sexy and desired, the uglier you come to see yourself, regardless of your actual physical appearance. The more you desperately want to be happy and loved, the lonelier and more afraid you become, regardless of those who surround you. The more you want to be spiritually enlightened, the more self-centered and shallow you become in trying to get there. Now, I think you got to be very careful with analyzing this, because I think when you're attached to these things, that's what you'll hear me talk about, and many times before. When you're attached to these outcomes, like you can want to be more of these things that are good, right? From one perspective, right? I want to be in a more positive state. I want more abundance. But if I'm attached to it, then I'm feeling like if I don't have it, something's wrong. Then I feel more poor or more uglier or whatever it is. So having a healthy sense of attachment with it is very, very important. And understanding this backwards law idea, wanting positive experience is a negative experience. If it doesn't come, I'm okay with that too. right? Because I'm not attached to needing any particular outcome. And I'm going to be even, like I like to put it, not necessarily, you're not always going to be happy with everything that's happening to you, but you can be at peace with what's happening to you. And that's really becomes the aim. It's becoming the eye of the storm, the calm in the eye of the storm, right? You're always at peace with what is. You can find your way to peace. Even when you get rattled and you're out, you're going to get thrown off where you're angry or unhappy or whatever. But then seeking that equilibrium, you're always seeking that balance within yourself. And so if you're tripped up, what's one of the ways I can seek balance? Well, I can tell by telling the story of, this ultimately is going to come back in the end. In the end, we win, right? Whatever we did, we fell on our face. We screwed it up a 10th time in a row. What an idiot. And as a result, I win 10x more, right? You start telling that story and you really get somewhere that's healthy and at peace and at balance. And from that emanates all the goodness that can open up for you to lead you into the best and highest outcome from that moment forward. You call in that timeline where it actually becomes, the lump of coal becomes a diamond, right? And this is the way that we do it. This is the way that we navigate it. And this short chapter here in the Third Millennium definitely helps to really drive that home. And I hope you're feeling good about it. I know I'm feeling good about today and tomorrow and next week and next month and next year, and trusting that exactly where I need to be is where I'll be, and exactly when I trip up is exactly where I'm supposed to trip up, and exactly where I pick myself. How could I have the experience of picking myself up again if I never fall, right? And that's an important one. We got to really be gentle on ourselves in this process that we're all going through. This is being human is not for the faint of heart. All right, everyone. Well, this has been a pleasure as always. I do have a song to leave you with. This one is called Echoes by Soul Rising, who I love and absolutely love this track. Hope you do too. Once again, any of you guys wanting to come first week in September or last week in September, let me know. Can work out payment plans, et cetera, et cetera. So far, everyone who's been here has left in tears of joy, pretty much. I think I've seen tears from almost everyone. It's been such a powerful, profound experience for me and for them. And we're only getting better with each week. It's getting just like there's certain refinements. I mean, it's a trade-off, right? The people who were here the first week, they're like the OG, they are like foundation, the pillars, and that's a different experience than someone who's here week 3 or week 30 for that matter. It's always going to be evolving, and it's so I'm calling in a couple more people that are meant to be here in September. Reach out to me, Brandon at positivehead.com. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoy this song by Soul Rising, Echoes. Hope it echoes into your world, all the goodness that's happening all around you. Till next time, journey well. Love you all so much.